changed. I am complete. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No more heartache or pain. I am complete. Yes, I said it. My whole life has changed. I am complete. No more heartache or pain. I am. Yes, I said it, and I meant it. And my world has changed. I was poor from a dark, dark side, but now I can see again. You reached down when I needed you most. Oh, and you kept me close. Yes, I said it. Our whole life has changed. Oh, yeah. No more heartache or pain. I am complete. No more heartache or pain. Our whole life has changed. I am complete. No more heartache or pain. I am complete.
No longer scared to face the world with my scars out and proud. Never again will I let something hold me down. I am complete. Thanks to the help I got when I kneeled down on one knee. I learned the road of life is filled with twists and turns, and if you play with fire, you will get burned. But that road I traveled and that burn I suffered, but in the end it made me tougher. Lord knows I wanted to quit and just end it all, but he told me, son, this is not where you fall, this is where you stand tall.
When I was in need, oh, I just saved me. Yes, I said it. When I was troubled, and I meant it. My whole life has changed. I am complete. No more heartache or pain. I am complete. I reached the road. I see things clearer now. What he has shown me, I can reach for the sky. I crossed the road. I see things clearer now. What he has shown me, I can reach for the sky. I crossed the road. I see things clearer now. What he has shown me, I can reach for the sky. I crossed the road. I see things clearer now. What he has shown me, I can reach for the sky.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning. Yay.
Hello.
We have Renee, our dear co-host. Everybody knows Renee. And then, of course, we have Brittany, who is coming back to talk and tell us more about her story, get a little more in depth, and also to, she has a new book. And we're so excited. We'll talk a little bit about her book. But I definitely wanted to give her an opportunity to go into her story a little bit more. It's a very, very... It's a deep story. It's very powerful, and out of it came promising things.
And the book.
So we will get started with Brittany.
Yes.
Yes,
Man,
Brittany.
oh, man. Well, hello, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. My name is Brittany Queen Freedom Williams, and the Queen Freedom just came from my journey. It came from, being able to be free through all of the pain, all of the hurt, and just understanding that somebody else can be blessed by it so they can be free too. So first thing is I start the book, and I'm not going to talk too much in detail about it because I want you to get it.
Definitely. We're going to go and get it.
I will talk about what I usually do talk about, though. So at the age of 6, we moved from one place to another, and when you're in a household where there is a lot of arguing, a lot of hatred, a lot of anger, and you're only 6, and you can't do anything about it but either listen to it or run away from it. I got tired of listening to it. And when you grow up in secrecy, you don't talk about it. So you don't know why everything is happening. All you know is a whole lot of noise and a whole lot of yelling. To this day, if someone raises their voice at me, I'm like, calm down. Calm down. We can talk about this. But I would leave. And I would go to a friend's house. And at the age of 6, when I went to that friend's house, for whatever reason, they wanted to put on a pornography tape. And that tape obviously had what that usually entails. This was a female, by the way. And we just went for it. So at the age of 6, you don't really know the word molestation.
Right.
You just know what's happening,
Right.
kind of thing. And me being a timid person, me being a shy person, you just get tired of the convincing and you just give in, basically. So that's just what I did. But I kept going back because it was either one or the other. And she gave me attention.
That's where I was getting ready to go with that.
Yes, attention. And you don't really know good and bad attention. You just know emotionally you're connected to something and it's fulfilling at the moment, temporarily. So that happened actually from the age of 6 to 13.
Wow.
Yeah. Child on child sex abuse is definitely not talked about a lot.
No, it's
especially same sex.
It's not.
It's not talked about a lot at all. And what happens is that person is just doing what they know or what has been done to them.
Right.
And nobody talks about it. When you live in secrecy, once again, you don't have a stable household. You don't know what to do other than act out. And that's just what happened. I talked to a whole lot of girls who have been through the same thing. And it's so crazy how just a similar story is I have nobody to talk to about it. I'm like, man.
And that's also one of the reasons, again, that the show is here for that format. And we want to have those open conversations. I can't say it enough, how much we want to keep doing the open dialogues and the conversations to get the awareness out there. With Brittany, let me ask you, too, with the child on child, and that is one of the topics that we will talk about later on in the months to come. But with the child on child, it obviously was attention for you.
Yes.
Because of the way things were going in the household. Yeah.
Excuse me, the physical I just tolerated. At first I was like, ew. Who does this?
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, because we did everything. You know what I mean? Just to, you know. But the emotional attachment is what I never had, you know, at that age. And it's crazy to be a child and not be able to talk to anybody.
Wow.
It's not fun. It's not fun at all. And you know what? I don't even know if I ever really talked to her. I just know that emotionally I was attached. So even if we didn't talk, there was still a fulfillment that I still went back to. And some people can kind of get confused by that. But when you're really in that situation, you kind of know, you know, especially with being abused.
Right.
You're not getting anything from it, but there's something there that's attaching, and you keep going back. So
it's definitely, I understand totally because I was molested as well. And I went through, our stories are similar. I grew up in an abusive household as well, and I was molested at a young age by family. But now that you mentioned that, I also was molested by a babysitter.
Wow.
Who was much older than I was.
Wow.
And it was a female.
Wow.
And, you know, like when you think about that, now that you mentioned it, I never really looked at it like because it was a female that I was molested, but it's still the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, she touched me, she did things, you know, or whatever. And I just considered the male penetration, you know, but that just brought that back. But anyway, yeah, I understand exactly what you're talking about because I was looking for any kind of attention.
Yeah.
Any kind of attention.
Well, let me ask both of you, have either of you been in contact with since this has happened?
With the person?
Yes.
I've never been in contact. My family has seen her. Well, they didn't really know until later anyway, so they probably wouldn't have known to say anything.
Okay.
But I have not seen her. I did look her up on Facebook just to kind of see, and she just, living a regular life. And I also think about it two ways as well. I try to always think positive or think different ways. She probably didn't see it as that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't even know to say that she is.
And who knows? She may have been going through the same thing.
Yeah, and I
She
think
had
about
to have
that
learned
too.
From someone.
Had to.
Learned behavior. So.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I saw, coincidentally, I saw this person in the grocery store
Wow.
about a few weeks
Grocery
ago.
shopping.
Wow.
Yes. And I'm coming in and she's coming out and I'm like, and she said, hey, Renee. And I'm like, hi, how's your dad and everybody? I'm like, fine. And I'm just like trying to hurry up and get away from her. And I'm like, did she even remember that she did this stuff to me? She just holding a regular conversation like it's,
And do you know what's crazy? I actually forgot. And I think I forgot because you don't see it as that, like you said, like a female, you don't see it as that. And God just brought it back to my memory not too long before I wrote this book. So I said, I don't even see it as that. That doesn't even make sense.
Because
but
it's normally the male.
Exactly. But then it does, because the more I'm open about it, the more people say. I'm like, well, wow, this journey is really life-changing.
Yeah.
It really
It's
is.
definitely healing.
Wow.
Healing.
Yes. Yes, it is. But the thing about that is that that's when all the sexualness came.
Yeah.
Like at the age of 6, I've already seen the videos. I've already done some stuff. There's masturbation. There's all of this stuff that I know. So that just opened up a whole crazy door. We all know what lust does. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
That is that's something. I guess I can understand when it's like that, a babysitter and a child friend or something like that, and it's a female, same sex.
Yes.
I guess you don't look at it as sexual assault or sexual abuse. But again, it's about peeling back the layers, because once again, you don't really know what was going on with either one of them. They may have been going through the same things that you all were going through. Riri about to say something that you all were going through.
She's like, it doesn't matter.
I mean, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. It really doesn't matter. And I'm not saying it to condone it at all. But
I mean, my thing is this, like, okay, this female, I actually caught, it's just so much with my family. I actually caught this same female. My dad was, let me call it a spade. He was a gigolo, okay? And, like, when my mom's in the hospital healing from a broken jaw and ribs broken and things, he's sleeping with the babysitters.
Wow.
So I've caught him with her. And it was just a lot. Like, it was not just a physical abuse. That was emotional abuse too, because just seeing that as a little girl, like looking like, okay, why is that white lady coming out of your bedroom and you zipping in your pants up, and then you tell me, oh, sugar, that's your tutor. She's gonna help you with your math.
Dad, what is she gonna help me with?
With my math.
I just need to know.
What?
Is it a class that I could skip?
And wait, she did. She sent us all some them little flashcards for Christmas. I guess that was her keeping her word. But yeah, it's a lot.
Wow.
I mean,
Woo-wee.
It
is a lot.
Yeah, it's really a lot seeing all that, and then you're supposed to be normal. But I applaud myself and you for having to go through everything that we endured and still be sane.
Yeah.
That is a blessing.
Yeah. It is. It is. And once again, 'cause before people get mad, we do the laugh thing. And
you have
it's
to
not
laugh.
anything
Oh my God.
to take away from the importance of the subject.
Not.
It's definitely for us just to.
Yeah, you have to laugh about things. You can't.
You know what? I get that a lot, actually, because now that I'm on this side, you know, the other side of the pain, I get that a lot because I don't live in that pain.
Right.
I will talk about it. I will cry. You know, everybody is going to have those emotions. But one thing I do get slack about is, I'm not going to say not believing, but just not always showing that I've been through something. And I can laugh through saying I've been molested. I can laugh now through saying I've been abused.
Right.
I can laugh now through saying that because I can't keep holding on to something.
No.
Right.
And then that's your
cannot.
healing. That's your
Right.
your
That
therapy.
is my healing.
I know for me it
Yes.
was therapy. It's therapeutic.
Definitely.
You know, and that's just me. That's my personality. I'm gonna get through it as best I can or however I need to. So like I said, when we laugh and make little jokes about different things, it's not to take away from the subject at all, because we've all been through it, and they've been through more than I can ever imagine. But the healing is working, and you can see that just in the way that they're able to come on and talk about it and help the next person out there to get through it and write books and
speak,
just really, you know, speaking engagements and everything. So it's all about
the
trying to
artist
help.
salvation.
Well, you can see it on the bottom of the screen, but I'm excited about it.
On the site. So and we'll be posting it as well on the page, on the Facebook page. We say no, the number 2 abuse. So we'll be posting that as well. So please go out and support Brittany.
Yes.
The book is very, very interesting and much more detail than we'll go into today. But very good book. Very proud of her. Very proud of her
Definitely
to come from that. That's
I'm gonna need you to help
long
me
journey
with my book.
Yes.
Sure.
And you know, Keita, I mean, I have 2 books, but you know, they were collaborative.
Yeah.
You were we both were in the same
In the
book.
second one, yeah.
So you did your thing by yourself. Now that's
Yeah.
where I'm headed, and I'm gonna be working with Keita as well.
Yeah.
She said, "Talk to Brittany." I said, "Oh, most definitely."
You know what? A couple of things made it easy for me. One, I work in a bookstore.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you
One,
did
I
say
work
that.
in a bookstore, so I always see books. I always see how it's layered
How
out.
it's laid.
So some of the things I already knew. 2, I'm not huge on writing papers, but you know how in English class you write the thesis statement, the outline, the closing. I literally did that and just went
know,
back and filled it in. But I was very clear cut in what I wanted to say.
Right.
Once you really know what you want to at least say, you might not have all the words yet, but if you really know what you want to say in those bullet points,
Right.
you can go back and just work on it as you know you continue to go. So it's not like you have to have a blank, and some people write like this, just a blank sheet and just write, and some people need structure. I need structure. So that outline helped me. But I do want to explain the title and the cover art.
Right.
So the title is The Art of Salvation, a message to her, the quiet abuse and abandon. So the reason why it's The Art of Salvation is because I explained this a couple of times. I had a dream. I'm a big dreamer. And there were clouds, and on top of a cloud, The Art of Salvation appeared. Literally the words, The Art of Salvation.
Wow.
So I said, okay. Well, okay. All right. So what does that mean? So I didn't know what salvation meant at the time, because I was just starting my walk with Christ. So I didn't know what that meant. But I wrote it down. I understood what it meant, and I wrote a poem about it. But I didn't know that it was supposed to be a book until now. So what is salvation? Separation literally means salvation means separating from yourself. It means not letting anything control you that used to. It means that even though you might be going through pain, even though you might have a testimony of hurt like ours or worse, the worst of the worst of the worst that you've been through is not it. Your maximum is not even your end. There's still like women, we have so much strength, and as moms and things like that, you know, you don't know how you're going to go on, but somewhere strength comes.
You find it, right?
Somewhere, you know what I mean? That's salvation, separating from the old and moving on into the new. And that's what the book is about, from the past to now.
Right.
Wonderful.
And then
Yes. That is awesome.
thank you.
I can't wait to read it.
I know. It's I love the
Can't wait.
title. I really do. I love the message to her, the quiet abused and the abandoned. That says a lot.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
says a whole lot.
Yeah.
So the artwork, you had someone do the artwork for you?
Yes, the artwork. His name is Antonio. He has 88 graphics designs, and it's so funny because the first time he sent me something, I was like, "This is not it. I'm sorry, but you got to do it over." Like, I'm so visual.
Right.
I'm like, I have to have this. And he said, "You know what? Just tell me what exactly you want, and we're going to work with it." So I'm so thankful for him. But this is just a girl, and she doesn't have a facial structure. She doesn't have any kind of emotion. You know, you can put whatever emotion to her that has been hurt or pain. But at the bottom, there's like a free butterfly effect.
Wow.
And she is just so free. She loves herself. She's colorful. She's no longer dark. The gray is the dark coming out of her. It's just so deep. It's not just colors on a page.
So deep.
I know. I'm a poet,
But
guys.
let me know, and I want to
And
ask you.
she's a poet.
Yeah, I want to
top of
ask
all
you,
that.
what's the age? What's the youngest age?
The youngest,
I'm
I would
looking at
say,
children for this. Teens, you know. I'm looking
yeah,
at teens.
definitely. The youngest I would say is 12.
Yeah, very good. Parents, please go
Yeah.
out and get this book.
Amazon. Where can they find it?
Well, the best thing is to go to my website,
Your website.
www.queenfreedom.com. It is on Amazon.com. You can just put the title in, but the easiest is just to go to
to your
the
website.
website to just
Yeah.
click on the link. Yeah.
Okay, and we'll repeat that website again.
Yes.
But parents, I think if and definitely if you have a hard time talking to your children,
Right.
I would
Which it
definitely
is very hard
reach out
to do.
and purchase this book and just let them read through it and get their opinion. Just see what they're thinking
Talk
after
to
they
them, right.
read the book, and then that's going to open up a whole nother dialogue for conversation between the parents and the children.
Right.
So once again, I'm asking people to support Brittany with this book. I
Thank
think it's
you.
a very good book. And that age group is perfect
Yeah.
to start having those conversations with your children. So once again, please support and we'll
Make this a bestseller.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you.
yes, yes.
And I do want to speak on the parental part. The only way that parents will not be receptive to this book is if you have not dealt with something yourself. That's the only way. Because this book is literally everything out on the table. So if you have not gotten everything out on the table as far as your inner battles, your inner hurt, your inner pain, it won't happen overnight. But as your child asks questions and you've been through it, do you stop? You know, do you get stuck? Or do you explain what they're asking? Or, you know, what do you do?
Well, I'll say this about children. For me, I mean, with us growing up, it was totally different. And I've said this before on the show. Things were not talked about.
Yeah.
Things were swept under the rug, and that was just it. You just didn't ask.
Right.
You didn't say anything, and that was the bottom line. But today's children are so much more. They are
Because
very
the internet,
advanced.
right.
Yeah. And so I think we don't give them as much credit because they know a lot. So
Too
I
much
think,
sometimes.
I really, even with Brittany, with what you're saying, I still think that it's a book that the children do need to have, and with parental guidance, reading the book, read it together, let them read it separate, let them read a section separate, and then talk about it. But it's definitely an easy read book to use as, like I said, as a open.
To open up a dialogue
Open up.
for that.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Brittany
I'm
mentioned she's a poet. I've heard her several times. Putting her on the spot now.
And her speaking voice is wonderful. I told her that before. She has the best speaking voice.
Hey.
Put her on the spot. But I just wanted everybody else to just get a taste.
All right.
And I promise we'll go back into her story just a little bit. But we
Yes,
wanted to give her
yes.
just a little bit of the
Okay.
entertainment side.
I'm like, what am I going to do? Okay. Okay. All right. So this piece is called Treasure Chest. And this is the one, if I don't remember any poem, it's this one and another one called Case Dismissed. But this is called Treasure Chest. And Treasure Chest is basically, you're hurt. Everything is my testimony that I do. But it's your hurt. And then you have the treasure somewhere buried in there. You just have to find it. And at the end is just saying, you know, I found that. So I just thank God for that. But it's called Treasure Chest. Blessings will come once you give your life to Him. She is a lonely girl, filled with anger, hoping that maybe one day her prince will someday give her a kiss under the mistletoe. And every night she weeps about what she doesn't have and has to be the referee of the fights between her mom and dad. She has nothing but yelling and screaming around her, covering her ears every night before she goes to sleep, praying that one day she would be taken away from the constant pain and misery. There's nobody she trusts because the house she lives in doesn't look like much, so she confides in her friends until one of them decides she looks good enough to touch. 6 years old, never knew what lust was until she decided to bring her into that crossfire. The devil said, you asked for this. You said you wanted out and can't take any more pain and misery. Well, let's see what happens when you become the... Years go by and the lust gets bigger. She finds out the party life is her scene because no one begs to differ. A good girl on the inside, a fake bad girl on the out. Attracts bad boys on the inside and real bad boys on the outs. See, that first hit shocked her. The second hit was okay, but by the third she was numb and became tolerant to pain. But blessings will come once you give your life to Him. But one day her mind shifts and she realized that she wants to live. Until now, living in the dark was okay, but life wasn't in the house where she lived. But see, God always has a plan in store for you. Because when you don't see Him, He sees you. That feeling she felt didn't come out the blue. That was a tug between God and Satan in the spiritual battle. So ladies, love the skin you're in and forget about the mistakes you made in your past. Because once you become obedient, God will rescue you from that bozo and send you your Boaz. Don't give in to the devil's lies. He tried to trick Eve into thinking by eating that fruit, her and God's power will be equal. But see, being a born-again believer only makes Satan mad because he knows that sin doesn't have power over dead people. So stop walking with your head down. Jesus will never turn His back on you, but you have to pray up. That's the only way blessings are coming down. And they say you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Well, I beg to differ because the little girl in the beginning of the story was me, and God gave this ex-hoe a mission, so a housewife is not in my destiny. But giving my life to Christ was the only thing that saved her. See, once you know His glory, you realize it's not about your body, but the heart inside of your chest is the treasure.
I mean, you know what? we could have closed on this right here. This could have been the end of the show. This is ridiculous.
God is
Brittany,
good.
I'm telling you, she is
God is good.
amazing.
I probably should have waited till then to show that, to ask her to do that, but I couldn't hold it in anymore.
You know how old that poem is, but he won't. It's so crazy how I try to write, and he will not let go what have already been written. And you know how sometimes you write things before your time?
Some people needed to hear it. Some people needed to hear that poem.
Profound. The words,
Definitely.
if you just really go back and listen to everything that she said, everything that she spoke on, there's no way that you cannot understand where she's been.
Yes.
I want to explain one line in there. I said, he tried to trick Eve into thinking by eating that fruit, talking about Satan. But sin doesn't have power over dead people. I don't mean like physically dead. I mean like spiritually dead. Right. Like feeling like you're dead.
You're
so,
worthless,
right. The devil knows that he has no power over that. So when you actually start to live and move into your freedom, that's when Satan tries so hard.
Yes, he does.
That's when he tries
he
extremely hard to try to break you down. And I don't know how many times I said this on Periscope yesterday. I don't know how many times I've cried through this situation, through this journey. I don't know how many times I said, gosh, why can't this person just encourage me? Why do I have to feel like I feel alone and all of these things? And then you read it back and you're like, do I want people to know that? And it's like, well, I can't take it back. Too many people know that it's coming out now and it's your purpose.
Right.
So how in the world do you say, well, never mind. It's not coming out anymore. I mean, but that's just the trick of the enemy. But
because it's not about us anymore.
it's not.
Yeah,
It's
not
not
about us anymore.
And that's the only thing that keeps me going.
Exactly. Because if it was about us, I would have been given up a long time ago. So that's why that book is here. And I remember when you were talking about it. I'm so proud of you. I'm trying not to cry right now.
We all
I'm
gonna
so
cry.
proud.
I'm gonna probably cry. I am a crying baby.
Me too.
But that's
so
shows
proud
too,
of her.
Once you release your pain, and then this is what you're talking about.
Right.
You can't
Yeah.
walk
Yeah.
alone. I can't be by myself and do what I need to do and let it be released and let it come out to help other people. So again, I commend you. You know, I commend
Thank you.
we're all doing books, but I'm
Yes.
I'm still back in the back. But this right here is I truly believe. I mean, it is powerful. It's going to help so many people. So I'm very proud of you.
I'm anxious.
You know,
to get mine.
Renee, she introduced me to Brittany.
Yes.
So through
Yes.
Renee
So
is
grateful
how
for
I met
that.
Brittany.
Yeah.
And you know, you all know how I feel about Renee. So it just it goes without saying. I truly care and love Renee. Her
thank you.
journey
Same
too, as everyone knows, has been a very long, hard haul
Yes.
that she has overcome and still working on some things,
Oh, yeah.
positive things that are helping other people. So
Yeah.
I commend both of you. And I just enjoy when I get people on to tell their stories. And their stories, they start out so hard, you know, so
Painful,
very painful.
Yeah.
And the intensity of the stories are just like, ugh. But by the end of the stories, it's just the
Everybody's
uplift and the
smiling.
empowerment.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just
Yep.
it's really good.
And that's
So,
the beautiful part of it.
Yeah.
That it's not
agree.
just about pain.
Right.
It's a lot of pain, but
It
in
is.
the end, you know, it's okay.
Yeah.
And that's the purpose for us to let everybody out there to know, the people that are still in the darkness,
Yeah.
that it can be painful, but it will be okay.
It definitely will. I always say, you know, tomorrow has to come. You know, just deal with today. You know, I'm a thinker, so I'm always thinking like 10 years ahead. But you know, for certain people, they can't, because it would be too much
Right.
consumption in the mind.
Right.
And especially for a person who's depressed, there's 365 days in a year. You know, depression every single day will just kill you.
Yeah.
It will kill you. So take it a day at a time. Today, I am going to, I don't know, set a goal. Today, I'm going to smile at somebody who I don't know. Today, I'm just going to say, okay, I got this.
Right.
I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to do it.
Because
I
you
don't
never
know.
know. You never
Right.
know how just saying
Small
hey
goals.
or hi or
Yeah.
having just a little
That's a good
conversation will
idea.
help someone who's going through whatever. They may have just left the house and got
Right.
you know, the brains beat out, you know, but you never
Right.
know. So that's the good and the positive part about everything that we do here on the show. And I just really I encourage people to continue watching the show, continue commenting on the show, and let us know exactly what it is that you want us to talk about as well when it comes to different levels of abuse, because there's a whole lot that we haven't even covered when it comes to abuse. But I try to keep focus on a lot of the sexual and the domestic, because obviously that's like the main ones that we hear about most times.
Yeah.
But so
a
that we
lot
could try to
going on.
battle that and get that kind of out the way, and then move into some other ones. But
And there's another thing that I do as well that can also be helpful, because I am a writer, and that's the best therapy that I've seen a lot of people who have been depressed or hurt or even abused or anything to write. And some people don't really know how to do it. So you're not just writing just to say this happened. Write to whatever emotion that you feel. So sometimes you might have to write to a person who's hurt you. Sometimes you might have to write to a parent. But if you look past all of that, who are just people who are going to be imperfect, write to the emotion. So if you're writing to depression and you say, depression, this is how you make me feel. I don't want to get up in the morning. I feel like I'm about to explode. I feel gray. I feel dark. I feel this. I feel that. I feel like I'm in a black hole. Like whatever you feel, then tell it that it has no control over you. Tell it that you're stronger than that emotion. Tell it that, whatever you wanted to say, because when you feel depressed again, you can go back and read what it's done to you, and you are strong enough. Like I said, we find that strength. You're strong enough to come out of what that thing is doing.
We do.
Because I got sick and tired of myself. I got sick and tired of being angry at something that I could not control.
Right.
So I said, well, what in the world can I do for me? Because I can't keep attaching myself to other people's hurt. That's what I had to do. I just had to write,
Wow.
sing.
Well, let me ask you, Brittany, how exactly, when we go back to the abuse side of things and the sexual abuse, how did you find yourself getting out of that?
The sexual abuse part? That we just, I just got older. I was 13 when we stopped. So I don't know if I just got tired of it or if,
because that's a long window.
It is a long window.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a long window. But I know we eventually stopped because, you know what? My interest changed. Because I lost my virginity technically at 15. Okay. So I started getting attention from guys.
Right.
And that was the new satisfaction, basically.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's always been an ongoing filler, I guess. Something always filled or temporarily satisfied whatever emptiness I had.
Okay.
So it switched from one thing to another, kind of like an addiction, I guess. It switched from one thing to another. Yeah. So that's basically how that happened. Wow. It wasn't a forceful thing. It was just like, I guess we just don't talk anymore. That's how it happened.
I mean, I guess,
that's how it happened.
Yeah.
Literally.
You outgrow
the situation.
It. Yeah, because the same thing happened with me as far as molestation was concerned. The family members, you grow up as from the age of 5 thinking that this is normal because this is what's happened to you from as early as you can remember. And then when you get older, somewhere along the way, you realize that something's not right with this. And then you get to the point where you're like, no. No
you start
more.
to get older, you grow more mature, you just start thinking and you see how other people act around you. You see that is wrong. You just see a whole lot. Your eyes start to open to way more and you just move.
Right.
You just move, but then you're empty again.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you're empty again. So that's when guys came and I was wild. I was wild. I was to the point where I'm like, okay, if we don't have like 3 or 4 somewhere around the area, I felt like, dang, so who's next? So who's next? And that's what it was. Gave my virginity at 15. Let's keep that clear. And then after that,
our stories are so similar.
They are very similar, and that shows you that I'm sure there's many more that are very similar.
Right.
Yes.
And I said this too with me, and mine is nowhere near the type that. Well, I won't say the type, but the in depth that you all endured. But I notice with me now with my children, I am so I'm very
overprotective.
I try not to be overprotective, but I'm just like if somebody's looking at my daughter that is a particular age, I'm ready to just snap. I mean, and it's not intentionally, because they could just be saying, that's really a nice outfit that she has on, but it's just the way. It's just
not if you're 30.
Yeah, right,
exactly. So it's
You can just say, "Oh, you dressed them well."
Right.
Better
with
way to say
me,
it.
that's kind of the effect that it took with me, and like different things. It's like when you were saying, like if someone yells at you, it takes you back, and it's like certain things. If I hear certain things, or if I see a certain thing, it takes me back.
Right.
And I don't lose it to the point where I'm just like ready to go and strangle someone, but it just takes me back. But I thank God that when it takes me back and I think about it, I come back out of it, and then I'm ready to move it forward again. So, but it's such a, I thank God that I was strong enough to continue moving. But it is something that I wish I would have talked more openly about back then, back in those years, because truly, and people that know me, it's been probably, it took me about 4.5 years to even get to this point, to sit here and actually talk about it, say something about it, and say what had happened. So, and even in the book, it'll go into a little more detail, but it took me that long, and then I'm over 40. So we're talking some years, and this happened back when I was 12. So it's been some long times, and like I said, I thank God that I was able to, come through it and have different gateways, I guess, to just be able to go over here and kind of get my mind off of it, or go over here and kind of get my mind off of it. But then you were always raised to, that just wasn't something you talked about. And that's why I encourage parents right now to really, 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 I can't stress it. I really can't. To talk to your children, age-appropriate conversations. We've said this before. Age-appropriate conversations. I have age-appropriate conversations with my children when it comes to that, because I'm show might be over. That's all I can say.
Yeah, like I said before, all bets would be off.
It might be off. I'm just
definitely
saying.
You as hard as I have been fighting since 2012, and that doesn't seem like a long time, especially compared to a lot of other people that are out here and been out here for a long time, trying to fight this fight against domestic violence and sexual assault. But for me, it is like a lifetime, because I've been carrying this load for a lifetime. And then for me to finally be able to talk about it and get it off of me and start my healing process. Like I mentioned before, the last show, domestic violence, I've been speaking about domestic violence since 2012, but I haven't dealt with the sexual assault part. And I just recently had an event where I spoke at with Queen Afee. Hey, Queen. And we did an event, and it was awesome. And I spoke about sexual assault. And Queen, I love her. She has a way, because she saw that I needed to move forward, because I wasn't stuck just talking about domestic violence. It was what happened to me. But I needed to move forward with my healing, as far as my sexual assault was concerned. And that's what I did. And me doing that, you talking about a crybaby?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it'll bring up those emotions.
I was crying. I had everybody over here crying, everybody over there crying. Everybody was crying in the building, and I'm like, okay. And this is how it happened when I dealt with the domestic violence. So this is great. Talk about it.
Yes.
Get it out. You can't worry about whose feelings are going to be hurt.
Nope.
I spared enough people all these years.
Thank you.
I've been suffering in silence too long. So now it's time for you. I don't want nobody to suffer, but it's time for me to heal.
Right.
That's the bottom line. So
especially with the kids.
Yes.
Because, myself and T, we go to, different schools and we speak on different topics.
Yes.
And these are high schools, and these aren't just high schools; they're alternative high schools. So you already know the stereotype with that. So you have the youngest we've had in our group is 12. You would think baby girl is 17. As experienced as she is in so much stuff, it's like, wow. But because we both have been through so much and have seen the joy that God is doing, we can look at you. You can cuss me out all you want to. I'm not going to look at you like you're bad.
Exactly.
I'm not going to look at you like you're bad. I refuse to. And you're not going to break me because I've already been broken.
Right.
I know what broken feels like.
Yes.
So it's no way that you think that you're going to break me because you're mad right now. We're going to go through the process.
Yeah.
And she'll love you in the end.
I will. Everybody knows it.
She'll love you, and
I
you'll
will.
love her.
I will.
Believe that,
and
and you'll thank her.
I've pissed a lot of people off because I did not budge. I've pissed a lot of people off just because I'm like, so you done? So
But that's
let's
how you
talk.
have to be. That's how you
Let's
have
talk
to
when
be.
you're ready.
Especially with kids, especially with children that are
Right.
definitely in pain.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't just give up on them.
No,
No,
you can't. You have to
No.
keep
So
it.
that's a
And
beautiful
eventually
thing.
it's going to come out.
Yeah.
They're going to talk about, they just need to feel that comfort zone of who it is that they can go to and talk to and communicate with. And again, that's why I ask the parents to stay visual on your
Right.
children,
Pay
know what's
attention.
going on with your kids. Because I'm on my kids probably more than I need to be. But and they don't like it, but that's fine with me. I'm
thank
going
you.
to do what I need to do as a parent
Yes. Yes.
until you can do what you need to do for yourself, and that's just the bottom line to it. And I just, like I said, I'm with you. I've saved enough souls
Being quiet about it.
being
Yeah.
quiet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. And you will hurt some
You
people
know, it's
being
time
open
for that
about
to
it.
change. It's
Well,
time for
I mean,
that to change.
but you have to
But it's
think
okay.
about how long you've hurt.
Right.
You know, how long you've been in
Right.
pain dealing with it.
Exactly.
Alone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So now it's time for you to start healing, and it's time for you to start moving forward and to
Right.
help heal others.
Right.
Yep.
I wanted to give Tiara. You mentioned T, the
Love
Truth
her.
Walker. Oh my gosh, she's another one. We had to have her on the show too. She is awesome. These two. Oh my gosh, we have to have. Hey Tiara.
Hey!
She is
Yeah.
really.
Show Tiara.
She's the truth.
Okay.
That's
real.
literally her name.
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
That's literally
She
her
is the
name.
truth.
Yes.
Well, we
I
need
had her
that.
on
We gonna
my
come
I had her
on.
on my radio show,
We gonna do it.
and I actually just posted it the other day. I had some I was reposting shows from before, and I had some technical difficulties. I was disturbed because that was one of my favorite shows when she came on.
Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely have to have her come on.
Come
too.
on the
Yeah.
show, Tiara. Let's talk.
Yes.
We
she
definitely
will.
need to.
She
And
will.
let me just
So
say
humble.
this too. One of the things that I'm planning to do, and we talked about it briefly, is I'm going to have a teen abuse
Oh, yeah,
segment.
definitely.
I'm so big on getting this team. We got to change this as well. So we're trying to work that out. Hopefully, get some positive energy to come in, and we want to find out what's going on with that whole teen abuse segment, and that will also tie into a lot of what's going on behind those closed doors with the sexual abuse, probably.
Right.
So we'll definitely plan on doing that. And also, again, I want to make sure that, again, I tell people to please go and support
Thank you.
Brittany's book. Me personally, I say age 12, like she says. I
Yeah.
said let your children start reading maybe a couple of the chapters alone, or if you want to do parental reading with them and have the open discussion with them on the
Yep.
book. And go from there. But I'll definitely let Brittany give her site out so that you all can go on and purchase the book.
Yes. You can purchase the book on www.queenfreedom.com. If you wanted to book for anything as far as poetry, motivational speaking, empowerment sessions, speaking about these different topics, we are definitely here to come support, help your youth and young adults. Even if you just need to talk, my email is queen.freedomspeaks@gmail.com. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
And I will
Speak your
say
freedom.
this: we're gonna have her come back. She doesn't know it, but You know,
Oh,
y'all
I'm
know
all
how
for
I
it.
do.
Let's go.
I
Let's
just
go.
pull you in.
Hey,
So I'm going to
I'm
have
okay
her
with
come
that.
back when we do the teen abuse segment to, we're going to start doing some uplifting because
Yeah.
the teens, I
Yeah.
think a lot of times they need that uplifting.
Yeah.
If you don't get it at home or if the parents, you know, in a lot of instances are working and
working.
they
Right.
can't be everywhere. So I want the uplifting to come from somewhere, and if we can help do that, then we'll do that. And Brittany, as you all heard, the poetry is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean,
Powerful.
very powerful, very
Powerful.
empowering. So I definitely want Brittany to come back when we put this show together.
Yeah, this is awesome. That's an awesome thing that you are planning to do, because one common denominator that I hear from a lot of the teenage girls is that we just want somebody to listen.
Yeah, that's it.
We just want somebody to listen. We just want somebody to hear us. We don't want to feel shut out, because it's always, you know, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about, or you're lying, or you know, they're smarter than you think.
They are.
And all they want is just for you to listen. Some days when me and T, the truth, when we go to these schools, some days we just let them talk. We have a whole plan set out. We're going to talk about this. And one person get to talking and the next person get to talking. And it was so beautiful because we just went last Wednesday, and one young girl, she just got there, and the staff said, this girl does not talk, but I don't know what y'all did to get her to talk.
It's a comfort
Just
zone.
listen.
It's a
Yeah.
comfort zone
Just listen.
Yeah.
that you'll feel.
And they connect
Yeah.
to something, they relate to something, because I speak at a high school at H.D. Woodson and several other high schools too, and it's something that resonated in them when you were speaking, when you were sharing your story,
Right.
that make them feel comfortable
Right.
with you, because the same
Because
thing
you're
happens with
open.
me.
Exactly.
Right.
And you will say, I've
Transparent.
been through this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they
it
feel
get-
very
it
comfortable,
makes them
yeah.
feel comfortable where
Yeah.
they can speak, and they started really, you know,
Yeah.
And it's someone that's
Let
been through it
loose.
as well.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's
Yep.
positive.
Yep.
So once again, here we are at another close. I
wow.
know
It's an hour already?
I know. But you know,
Oh.
we'll have to work something else, or we're going to make it a little longer, you know, on some of the segments.
Hey.
or you
Some of
just
the
have to keep
segments.
coming back.
Yeah.
Just text me, call me,
We'll have you
Facebook
keep coming back. We'll just have her keep coming back and
Yes,
to hit us
yes.
with some poetry and all that good
Yes.
stuff.
all of it.
I'm loving
all
it. I'm
for
loving
it.
it. I just appreciate you, Brittany.
Thank
I
you
really
so
do.
much.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate
Thank you.
both of you all. Thank you, Renee, for
You're
just
welcome.
introducing
You're
me to
welcome.
Lisa.
You're welcome.
And I really thank you both for your encouragement through it all. One thing I did say on Periscope is that you think people just encourage people, and they don't.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
They don't. Just to have the hearts to do it, just out of the blue. And I thank you all for just being selfless in that way.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Unfortunately, as I always say, it's not a lot of kumbaya moments in this fight that we're going through.
Yeah.
Domestic violence and sexual assault. But there are a lot of people like myself, Lisa and Brittany, you know, that are willing to help and do whatever we can to try to get, you know, everyone that's in the dark
Yes.
out into the light. So that's what we're hoping and praying for everyone, that you get out of this show and every other show that we've done. And we want you, again, to definitely get Brittany's book, The Art of Salvation,
Yes.
ASAP, because it's definitely going to help a lot of people.
Yes. We
I'm
are
not sure if they can
grateful.
see it, but it's on the bottom of the screen.
Yes, indeed. So again, we are closing, and we hope that you enjoy the show. Like I said, and go visit our Facebook page. We say no, the number 2, abuse. Love you all. See you next week.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yes, I said it. My whole life has changed. I am complete. No more heartache or pain. I am. Yes, I said it, and I meant it. And my world has changed. I was poor from a dark, dark side, but now I can see again. You reached down when I needed you most. Oh, and you kept me close. Yes, I said it. My whole life has changed. Oh, yeah. No more heartache or pain. I am complete. No more heartache or pain. My whole life has changed. I am complete. No more heartache or pain. I am complete.
No longer scared to face the world with my scars out and proud. Never again will I let something hold me down.